Hi. Okay. So I believe that energy never lies. I think more than words and actions, I'm very much a creature of energy, and over time I've taught myself to read energy of people, places, things, yourself, and to kind of try and keep your energy in a high space. And while you're able to do this almost as like a muscle that you develop, just like exercising, etc., or your intellect for that matter, energy is also a muscle that you develop over a period of time. And of course, you make mistakes sometimes, but it is a very easy check to see as to what is happening on energetically around you, because I believe that our destinies are linked. They're not just linked to the families and people that we are connected to or we are very close to. It's also linked to the places that you spend, people that you spend the most amount of time with. And work ends up being one of those places where you're spending a lot of time. And in work, it's very, very simple to see. And I keep talking about work because I think I spend a lot of time at work. At work, I try and see as to what are the kind of energies that I'm surrounded by. And what I've realized is the two archetypes that I'm a complete disdain of, and I've also owned them. I've owned these archetypes, and I've hated myself when I've done this. But over time, I'm very conscious that these are the two archetypes I don't want to wear, and but when I see it around me, when I see people around me playing either victim or savior, the two archetypes of victim and savior, I kind of know that energy has gone haywire. This place's energy is very, very haywire, and your destiny is linked to being in a place where people are either victims or saviors, which is mostly the movie industry, the media industry is an industry of victims and saviors. Somebody is saving somebody, is getting destroyed by somebody. So I think also that's also most workplaces. If you're not conscious of it, conscious work is very different from the way we work today. There's always a hierarchy. There's always this victim savior archetype, and in the world that's coming, I think you have to be very careful that you don't allow this to define your destiny. If you feel like playing victim, drop it. If you feel like playing savior, drop it. Both are very um negative paths over time, because I think more and more we're moving towards being sovereign, which means you have to trust your own instincts, you have to trust your own judgment, you have to trust your own non-verbal, energetic understanding of things happening around you. So this is very much sense and sensibility. This is really not about what is being spoken to you, and this brings me to this whole element of uh, manners and conduct. A lot of us are very, very good at being great at manners and conduct. They say the right things, but you can feel it. You can almost viscerally feel it, that they might be saying all the right things. They might be calling you up and all of those other things, but inherently there is this respect. They don't quite disrespect. They're condescending. All that up and the conduct is a way to be condescending, because that's the way that they kind of make you feel. And people who do this in an elaborate manner with you also are aware of the fact that this could be irritating you, because you don't really believe in it. For example, sometimes my language is more or less clean, but when I feel the need to not be clean, I know that the person in front of me is putting on an act, and I'm responding to that in a very negative way. But it's a pushback against being mollycoddled. It's a pushback against being subjected to condescending behavior, because it's so easy to use manners and conduct as a barrier to have real conversation, which parents do really well, right? They're like, you can't do this, how can you talk to elders like this, how can you say this, how can you say that? And parents take a lot of liberty, energetically and otherwise, with you, words and actions, because they think just because the conduct is in the realm of elders and younger, they can say anything as long as the conduct is right, as long as the manner is right. What is being said, what is being done, nobody really looks at it, and that again then brings you the cost of any decisions that you already conduct that happens to you. So my sense is that I believe that over time you will have to drop all these barriers. You'll have to drop the barriers of conduct, you'll have to drop the barriers of victim savior, you'll have to drop the barriers of anything that you think is good for you, or it serves you, because it's manipulative. Anything that you put on as an inherent choga, and I don't think all of us are mannerful all the time. I don't think all of us are victims all the time. I don't think we are saviors all the time. Once in a while, situationally, this can happen, but more or less, we are good. Most of us can take care of ourselves when we decide not to. And most of us are not responsible for other people. All adults are responsible for themselves. And the moment we decide to save somebody, even in the best of our intentions, we are putting ourselves into a superior position, and that by itself, by definition, is egoistic. All of these are ego games that we're playing with each other, which energetically are very draining. And it's a very simple check of energy, right? When if after being with somebody or talking to somebody you feel uplifted, that's great. That person is good for you. And if you feel drained, and if you're not picking calls, if you're avoiding calls, and if you don't want to talk to a person, then energetically there is a breakage, and either has to be repaired, or you have to let go of that person for a minute, which is what creates a lot of these trauma bonds and toxic bonds and dependence bonds and ties, and which is again back to our destinies are interlinked. If I'm tied to you for duty and not necessarily for love and joy, then it won't yield the results that you want. Then there will be delays, there will be pressure. But if there's just love and joy, I'm tied to you because there is love and joy, and I'm seeking pleasure of completing something that we decided to do together as purpose. Then of course it'll turn out to be beautiful and fruitful for all of us. But if there is any other reason to do this, for example, what victims do is they constantly play shame and blame, right? And they ply you with guilt. If you don't do what they're asking for, then the world will come to an end, right? Something will get delayed, something will fall apart, all of that will happen, and you will give in because hey, you want to save the day, and in that savior victim complex that's going on, destiny is destroyed. Because destiny was like, hey, I wanted to have fun, and the energy was supposed to be positive and collaborative and conducive, and see what you did with it. And I think it takes a long time to realize what is enriching and what is draining. And over time, earlier it used to take me longer. Now I think it's almost instant. And I also no longer even feel the need to kind of perform to this energy. I don't even feel the need to perform to this because my destiny is linked to this performance. The more time I spend in this performative conduct, the lesser I'm working on my highest good and my highest timeline, right? There is a destiny that I also have to pander to, or be aligned to, which is my own. And the more time I spend in this orchestra of illusions, then the less time I'm spending in the reality of what I need to build for my own self, for my own life, for my own destiny, for my own blueprint, right? And we all have our own blueprints. We'll all get there. I kind of believe that you will get what you ask for. So I kind of believe that I'll get everything that I've ever asked for. So I have to just stay in that lane of what do I need and what do I want. And if everything aligns in that direction, then it is positive and kosher. And if it doesn't, and it sounds very selfish, but then what is wrong with being selfish? I don't see anything wrong with it because as a fairly kind, generous person, I think being selfish is what keeps me generous and kind. If I wasn't selfish, which means that I stay true to my dreams, because one life and I and limited time and energy and attention to fulfill those dreams. This single pointed focus on what I really, really want to feel. And I want to only feel love, joy, and pleasure. And call me selfish and so what. And because when that happens, and when my cup is full, then I'm just overflowing with the same for the other. It's the lotus principle, right? The lotus is green at the bottom, pink on top. So it's nurtured. There's water and nurture in the bottom, and that's why the lotus blooms. If there is none of that, and you're running on empty, and you're running on negative, then how will a lotus happen? It won't happen. It takes a lot of work being done in private for all the results to show in public, and it's a long game. Long game requires care. Long game requires intentions. It requires clarity. It requires ability to make mistakes. It requires being flawed. It requires not feeling targeted every time you make a mistake. It requires being known for your empathy and emotionality, and to not be used in such a way that psychologically and emotionally you pay such a high price for alignment that you no longer want to be in the lane of the tastu that you set out to conquer. So all of this is it sounds all like la-di-da, but my sense is that the greatest, happiest people I meet in life understand the language of energy, and they know that energy doesn't lie, and they don't try to dumb it down to, hey, this is a really nice person with it because they speak so well, or they don't try to make it stupid by saying things like they speak so well, or look at how loving the conduct is. None of that. They kind of have a sense of, this hard Plain speaking person who's intense is my person, because whatever said and done, she will do right by me and us, and the path that we set on. And when she loses it, the anger is a sign that some line has been crossed. It's a sign some boundary has been crossed. And sometimes I think it doesn't take too much if the person in front of you wants to retain you in their life energetically and otherwise, and purpose and goal, to sometimes say sorry first, or to hear you out fully. If that's not happening and you seem to be always feeling small and small and unloved, and guilt and shame, because hey, the victim and the savior are playing, and both archetypes are makotas, both are masks. Neither is better. Anybody who thinks that this works or that works, and the moment there are too many victims around me, I want to leave them. I want to run away. I don't want to imbibe their energy. I don't want my destiny to be linked to being either a victim or a savior. I want my destiny to be built on love, joy, happiness, pleasure, play. I like to play, and it may look childish from the outside, but actually it's not. It's very strategic. Deciding to play is a strategic decision. It's not a naive decision at all. And when the play ends and the music ends, it's okay to leave, because these really serious dead end places are not where destiny is made. By now, after so many years on this planet, that much I know. And anybody who's pretending otherwise is just pretending. It's really not true. So don't go by the good words and the good actions. Go by energy. Energy doesn't lie. Calm people make you feel calmer. Psychologically, emotionally draining people do the same to you. They may look great on the but in their presence you will feel drained, and they will blame you for it. That's why you are not regulated, not realizing that hey, if you were, I wouldn't feel this way. Have you seen how when a calm person enters the room, and it could be the most disjointed room, you will suddenly feel calm and you will feel supported. And it doesn't happen in the company of a person who's agitated but pretending not to be, or who's emotionally and psychologically in distress but pretending to be this great calm exterior. So don't go by the fronts that people put on with us, because people lie, and they lie with energy first. They lie with words and actions after that. So learn to learn. The hardest language is energy. But if once you've learned it, don't feel the need to even explain it to other people. Don't feel the need to logically explain this to people, because there is no logic. It is in the micro expressions, it is in the silence, it is in the distance, it is in the need to not touch that person anymore, it is in the need to not want to share a joke, it is in the need to protect yourself, it is in the need to armor yourself, it's in the need to be guarded. None of this can be proved. There is no Excel sheet for this. There is no data point for this. It's all observation. It's all your gut. It's your body's response to another person. Because somewhere you can see that a lot you fell for performance and not authenticity, and you made a mistake, and now your system is paying the price for it by being dysregulated. A dysregulated system is a result of the environment and the people and the places that you put yourself in. Regulation requires silence and a very deep chat with yourself, and you should not run away from it, because your destiny is dependent on you being regulated. It's dependent on you being operating from love, joy, and shared mutuality. Without mutuality, you can do nothing. Then might as well do everything alone. But why? Why do anything alone? There are so many people who would want to partner up with you, because you have a certain recognition that most other people don't have. And over time, I realized that we have to know that we'll be chosen by the right people. We have to know that there are people who love us with our fault. There are people who value us and cherish us, and with whom we will not have to fight the fight of respect. We will not have to fight the fight of shared purpose. Shared purpose is very hard to find. But before shared, there is purpose. And if God has given you purpose, they'll also give you the resources to make your purpose come true. Choosing the wrong people because you don't want to be alone and you like the idea of company is a disservice to yourself and to the purpose. So learn to read energy and stay true to it. There is no other way. There is no other way. I think it is in the service of the human that you are. That you know that energy doesn't lie, and victim and savior are both bad positions to be in. And your destiny is driven by the environment, people, places that you belong to. And the simple rule of war, and I'm an army kid, is You cannot win the war if you die. And a death by emotions and psychology, and a death can also be emotional, it can also be psychological, it doesn't always have to be physical. It could also be financial, it could also be relational, it could also be many deaths can happen by thousand cuts. So my simple ask is live fully and don't die by a thousand cuts. Small cuts are also killing you, and don't do that. One life, no? One beautiful, beautiful life.